Situation surrounding Mike Tyson's recent legal troubles and health issues has taken an unexpected and troubling turn. The boxing legend, who once ruled the ring with raw power and unmatched ferocity, now finds himself at the center of a complex controversy that involves legal action, health concerns, and a public fall from grace. It all started earlier this month when a woman filed a lawsuit in Albany, New York, accusing Tyson of rape during the 1990s. The woman, who claims that Tyson sexually assaulted her during that time, is seeking $5 million in damages. This lawsuit has added yet another layer to Tyson's troubled legacy, one that continues to haunt him despite his previous efforts to turn his life around. The public drama surrounding Tyson took another unexpected turn after his sudden disappearance following his fight with Jake Paul, which had garnered a massive amount of media attention. Tyson collapsed in court shortly after the event, leading many to question the circumstances surrounding his health and the events that transpired in the aftermath of his confrontation with Paul. The collapse, initially assumed to be a health issue stemming from Tyson's long-standing health problems, set off a chain of events that only intensified the media frenzy. As Tyson was rushed to the hospital for treatment, Jake Paul and Netflix, both of whom had been involved in promoting and broadcasting the fight, became embroiled in a legal battle. It was revealed that both parties were required to pay back a substantial amount of money as a penalty for allegedly staging a scripted fight. Fans who had purchased tickets or paid for pay-per-view access to the event felt cheated, claiming that the fight was nothing more than a spectacle designed to cash in on Tyson's name and Paul's growing fame. This revelation has left fans and commentators alike questioning the authenticity of what they had witnessed. Was this fight truly a legitimate contest, or was it all part of a carefully orchestrated show meant to boost the careers of the two participants? Tyson's role in the whole event has only deepened the mystery surrounding his intentions. While Tyson has never shied away from a challenge, and has even spoken openly about his desire to return to the ring for a final payday, the events of the past few weeks have raised more questions than answers. Following Tyson's collapse, and with the legal proceedings unfolding, the spotlight shifted away from the fight itself and toward the mounting legal and financial consequences for those involved. Tyson, who had already been struggling with a number of health issues including back pain, dizziness, and fatigue, was once again in the public eye for all the wrong reasons. Yet, it wasn't just his health that was under scrutiny. Tyson's decision to step back into the ring at the age of 58, especially after having already amassed millions throughout his career, made many wonder, was this comeback about more than just the passion for boxing? Or was it about securing one last big payday, despite the toll it could take on his body? To make matters worse, Netflix and Jake Paul were both slapped with significant financial penalties following the legal fallout from the event. According to reports, both entities were found responsible for misleading the public, as the fight had been marketed as a legitimate competitive match, but evidence suggested otherwise. There were claims from viewers who had trouble accessing the fight, and complaints about the overall quality of the broadcast signs, perhaps that the event had been poorly planned and executed. The streaming giant and the YouTubers team were ordered to compensate fans for their part in this alleged breach of contract. The larger questions about the integrity of the fight and the motivations of those involved have left a cloud of doubt hanging over Tyson's legacy. Fans who had supported him throughout his career, many of whom believed in his incredible talent and dedication to the sport, were now left feeling betrayed. They had invested their time and money into what they thought would be a legitimate contest, only to be faced with the possibility that they had been duped. And as the lawsuit over the alleged staged fight grew in scope, so too did the concerns over Tyson's health. Tyson, already struggling with physical ailments that had plagued him for years, seemed to be caught between a rock and a hard place. Reports indicated that he had been dealing with severe back pain, dizziness, and overall fatigue during the fight with Paul. Tyson's team confirmed that, despite his efforts to push through, the effects of these health problems had become undeniable. His collapse following the fight was a wake-up call not just for Tyson, but for his fans and for the boxing world as a whole. One of the more disturbing aspects of this whole saga is the speculation about Tyson's health. Is his collapse a result of the physical toll that decades of boxing have taken on his body, or is it a sign of something more sinister? Given Tyson's past battles with substance abuse and mental health issues, there's been ongoing concern about whether his decision to step back into the ring was a reckless one, driven by financial pressures rather than genuine passion for the sport. After Tyson's collapse, media outlets were quick to report that Tyson was not critically injured, but the situation remained tense. The images of the boxing legend being wheeled away on a stretcher, looking frail and vulnerable, were a stark contrast to the powerful figure he had once been in the ring. Tyson had always prided himself on his strength and dominance, but now it seemed his body was betraying him. In the days that followed, Tyson's disappearance only fueled the speculation. He was nowhere to be found, and his team remained tight-lipped about his whereabouts. This sudden absence, combined with the legal actions and the ongoing lawsuits, has led many to wonder if Tyson is deliberately running from the authorities. Was he attempting to escape the fallout from the fight and the associated legal consequences, or was he simply struggling to cope with the overwhelming stress and physical decline that had become a part of his life? As Netflix and Jake Paul were forced to deal with the financial fallout from the lawsuit and the allegations of a staged fight, Tyson's role in all of this remained unclear. Did he knowingly participate in the spectacle, or was he caught up in something bigger than himself? His collapse and subsequent disappearance have only deepened the mystery, with many now questioning whether Tyson was truly a victim of circumstances or whether he had been complicit in the scheme from the start. The lawsuit, filed by fans who claimed they had been duped into thinking they were watching a legitimate fight, has sparked a class action case against Netflix and Jake Paul. The lawsuit alleges that the fight was a deliberate ploy to mislead viewers and generate huge profits. Thousands of viewers have complained about the poor quality of the broadcast, difficulties accessing the fight, and the overwhelming sense that they had been sold a fake event. In response to the growing backlash, Netflix has yet to make an official comment on the situation. As more information comes to light, it's clear that this controversy is far from over. The legal consequences for Tyson, Netflix, and Jake Paul could be significant. If the fight was, indeed, staged or scripted in any way, it could lead to a breach of contract, massive fines, and even jail time for those involved. For Tyson, this could mark the end of his career in the public eye, not just as a boxer, but as a man who has been caught up in one of the most damaging scandals in recent memory. Beyond the legal implications, the fallout from this event will have lasting effects on Tyson's reputation. For years, Tyson had been attempting to rebuild his image, focusing on his mental health, family, and personal growth. But this series of events has cast a dark shadow over those efforts. The public perception of Tyson, once considered a comeback story of redemption, is now clouded by doubt and controversy. As the legal battles continue and Tyson remains missing, many are left to wonder what comes next for the former champion. Will he return to the spotlight to face the consequences of his actions? Or has the man who once ruled the ring become another tragic example of a fighter whose legacy has been tainted by scandal and health struggles? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this is a story that has only just begun to unfold, and it is one that will have lasting ramifications for Tyson, Jake Paul, Netflix, and the world of boxing as a whole.